Greetings, brave adventurers! My name is FoxyBard, and today I come to you with a tale of frustration and recalcitrance, because this story has probably the most frustrating person to play with I've ever seen. Now, this player is not the worst person in the world. There will be no horrific actions of dehumanization or anything quite like that, but definitely the most frustrating person I can imagine. And I feel like we need that after the last little while of some of the worst humanity has to offer. So, grab a seat around the fire as we dig into this tale of role-playing. Today's story comes to us from the user WebpackIsBuilding, and it is entitled, I Walk into the Desert. And that is basically all that happens, over and over again. If that sounds kind of frustrating, it is. Tale start. TLDR. Player refuses to play with anyone else. DM is way too accommodating of his bullcrap. Problem player eventually leaves our friend group entirely. Some background. I had just recently learned how to play D&D, DMing a handful of short campaigns for a group of friends. One of those friends decided that they wanted to give DMing a try, so I happily passed the mantle so that I could be on the other side of the table for once. Ah yes, when the forever DM finally gets to be a player. I know that feeling well. DM tells us the starting point of the campaign. We are at the outskirts of a dangerous area that holds religious significance. All around that area is inhospitable desert that people make the dangerous journey to cross, often dying of thirst and malnutrition before finishing the pilgrimage. The party consisted of myself, a lawful neutral tiefling monk. I worked with the DM to be a defected member of one of the region's cults. I'm waiting for the other two just inside the region, wanting to join up with some non-evil companions. Cool Guy, a neutral good human fighter, also known as K. Goes the easy vanilla route. He wants to test his mettle and he heard this is the best place to do it. Walked across the desert to be here, surviving the journey by the skin of his teeth. And Problem Player, a air quotes chaotic good tiefling sorcerer, also known as S, accidentally teleported just outside the region due to wild magic. So far, so good. The adventure craps itself immediately. K and S find each other outside the area and begin to walk into the main area. My character is waiting for them. Me. Halt. I need to know that you aren't evil. Forgive me, but this is necessary. I have been fooled in the past, and I can't afford for it to happen again. Me, out of character. My character wants to verify that they aren't carrying any evil, cultist, ritual crap. Can I lift their bags off of them to quickly check that they aren't carrying any evil, cultist crap? It happens. Nothing evil there. I return the bags. Me. I am again sorry for my rude behavior. I needed to be sure, but now that I am, let me introduce myself. My name is S, out of character. I walk back into the desert. Everyone states the obvious. Everyone looks at S confused. S, out of character. My character doesn't like it when people are rude to her, so she's leaving. Me, out of character. My character is trying to apologize for that. She didn't mean to cause any real problems, I just thought it'd be a flavorful introduction. I didn't mean it to cause any real issues. S, out of character. Doesn't matter. My character doesn't forgive anyone, ever. K, out of character. But we have to stick together? How can we even play the game if you just leave? S, out of character. I don't know. That's the DM's job to figure out. Oh, this guy. Oh boy, I dislike him immensely. DM. Okay, well, where are you even planning on going? There's nothing in that direction other than endless desert. You're going to die pretty quickly if you just walk away. S, out of character. Well, my character wants to try, so it's your job to be the DM for it while I cross the desert. First-time DM doesn't know how to handle this situation. We take a break for 30 minutes while he tries to decide what should happen now. Oh geez, I forgot it was this DM's first time. Come on, dude. Oh man. The DM tries his best. The DM decides to work with S and give him some motivation to head back to the group. DM. As you begin to walk into the desert, you see a strange man in black cloaks. His presence is bizarre in the midst of the empty, sandy plains. S, out of character. I walk past him and keep going. K, DM, and myself are all staring in disbelief. Me, out of character. Why aren't you talking to the weird foxing dude in the desert? S, out of character. He sounds evil. DM. Well, there's no one else here, and you're definitely going to die if you keep going into the desert. S, out of character. We'll see about that. I keep walking. DM. Okay, you walk for another 30 minutes and suddenly see the same guy again. S, out of character. I walk past him again. DM. Alright. Well, suddenly, the ground caves in underneath you, and you find yourself in a 10-foot hole. Ooh, create pit. The strange man in robes walks up to the edge of the hole and stares down at you. He begins to speak. S, out of character. Ugh, stop railroading me. DM. The dude wants to talk to you, and he has magic. S, out of character. I don't care. I want to keep walking, and you should let me. Remember when I said this dude was frustrating? I was not kidding. The DM tries way too hard. The DM eventually gets a chance to have his NPC talk. The DM as the black-cloaked man.
If you venture into the sacred region, I can grant you great power, but be wary, you should not travel alone.
S, out of character. Ugh, fine. I guess my character does want to level up, so okay. So S now has a huge personal story arc, while K and I are both just sitting at the table, waiting for a chance to play again. We've been waiting for nearly 2 hours now for this nonsense to end, but somehow S is clearly more annoyed than anyone else at the table. An anticlimax. We played a few more sessions after this, but it quickly fell apart from here. No individually terrible event, but lots of little crappy moments that accumulated over time, and eventually ground the campaign to a halt. A few noteworthy examples. S regularly cast Fireball and other AoE spells on top of K and myself, so long as it also hit enemies. S constantly ran headfirst into battle, despite being the only ranged character in the party. After immediately taking a bunch of damage by jumping in front of us, he would then retreat completely out of the fight because his character was scared. Unless he could cast Fireball on top of K and myself, he rarely contributed to the fight at all. S complained constantly whenever we had any non-combat encounters, and called the DM bad for including puzzles. S constantly tried to hide any treasures they came across, refusing to share anything with the rest of the party. S found a key, and as usual, hid it from the rest of us. When we found a locked door that we clearly needed to open to progress the plot, he refused to reveal the key, claiming that his character would rather leave the door locked forever. was gonna say death by 1,000 cuts, but this is more death by 1,000 gaping stab wounds, holy cow. The game eventually ended with a TPK. Both Kay and myself had stopped really caring because of the constant stream of garbage derailing things every 5 minutes. We played the combat poorly without any help from S, too annoyed to care. But, happy ending. I continued playing with other groups, but after a year hiatus, Kay, the DM, and myself regrouped to try again with some other friends of mine. I took up the DM role again, and that campaign has now been running for over 2 years. They're now level 17, starting from level 1. Now that's the miracle right there. Most games don't get that far. S was never properly kicked, but we just generally stopped inviting him to hang out with us in any capacity, and we're all pretty okay with that. Tail end. And, like I said, not a horrible person, but oh boy, a horrible roleplayer. Wow. And, to be fair, not everyone is good at this, and that's okay, but you still have to be willing and able to play with your group. That's kind of necessary for a group game. And if that's not something that you want to or can even consider doing, then just play single-player games. Play video games. They'll do everything you want. Well, I mean, you probably will even be more railroaded, so I guess there's that. But still better than forcing other groups to put up with you derailing everything and not wanting to work with your party members. Now, this is the part where, with a more experienced DM, I would say that he probably should have just kicked S after the desert incident, but it was his first time, and it's so difficult to kick players from a group when you're a first-time DM, because it might kill the game, and you don't want to have your first game you've ever DM'd just end in that. So I'm going to give the DM a pass, but I'm going to hope that they learned from their experience. And I really hope that all of you would-be DMs out there learned from this experience as well. If someone looks like a problem at the beginning and doesn't get better quickly, just get rid of them. Nice and easy. But that will do it for Foxy today. Have you ever had a player this frustrating to play with? I actually have. I did the wrong decision. Don't follow my lead. I picked up all of the dice in my bag, rolled them, and said, "One of the gods smites you down from above with a lightning bolt. You take that much damage." That's the wrong thing to do. Don't do that. But that was also my first game I was ever DMing, so I didn't know any better. But time for YouTube things. Don't forget to like the video if you liked the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not yet done so, ring that bell notification icon if you would like to be notified whenever I upload a new video, and make sure you select all notifications, and leave me your comments down in the comments section below. You can also join the FoxyBard Discord server at discord.gg/FoxyBard, and you can find me on Twitter at ThatFoxyBard. And of course, a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters, whose names are scrolling by the screen right now. If you would like to join this list, you can go to patreon.com/FoxyBard, sign up for as little as $3 a month. You get my videos early and ad-free, and you also get access to a special patrons-only channel in my Discord server, where I often go over my process and talk about upcoming videos and things like that. So if you're interested, again, that is patreon.com/FoxyBard. But I am going to go walk into a desert. I'm not going to do that. I'm actually probably just going to go get some water. Anyway, so let's douse the fire and get back to our own adventures.